Two Asian giants, one shared border, and a tangled history and a complicated future. India and China together house more than one third of humanity. They are civilization cousins with thousands of years of culture exchanges. Yet, in modern history, their relationship has grown between friendship and fierce rivalry. So, how did we get here? How did Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai, brothers forever, turns into standoffs, mistrust, and strategic competition? Let's take the 7 decade journey, the story of two neighbors shaping Asia's destiny. Together, India and China represents 2.8 billion people. That's almost 36% of the world's population. They are fast growing economies, nuclear powers, and regional influences. But their relationship isn't just about geography, it's about power, perception, and history. It's the story of two neighbors rising side by side, sometimes working together, often working apart. The story begins with hope. India gained independence in 1947. 2 years later, China became the People's Republic of China under Mao Zedong. Both nations had recently emerged from colonialism and foreign occupation. India was among the first countries to recognize Communist China, a gesture of friendship rooted in anti imperial solidarity. The world heard a new slogan Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai. Indians and Chinese are brothers. Behind the smiles and handshakes, a silent issue waited the undefined border left by the British Empire. To cement the friendship, Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru and Premier Zhou Enlai signed the Pencil Agreement, the five principles of peaceful coexistence: mutual respect for sovereignty, mutual non-aggression, non-interference in internal affairs, equality and mutual benefit, peaceful coexistence. It was a diplomatic masterpiece, a vision of harmony between two unsaid civilizations, but unfortunately, it didn't last long because while both sides spoke of peace, their maps were already disagreeing. The crack began to show in the 1950s. China quietly built a road through Aksai Chin, an area India considered its own territory. When India discovered it, diplomatic protest followed, but China stood firm. Talks failed, mistrust grew, and by 1962, the unresolved border issue exploded into open conflict. The friendship era was over, and the Himalayas became a line of suspicion. In October 1962, Chinese troops launched surprise attack in Ladakh, Arunachal Pradesh. India was unprepared, poorly equipped, and military outmatched. Within weeks, Indian soldiers fought bravely but suffered heavy losses. China declared a unilateral ceasefire and withdrew. The war left deep scars. Indian foreign policy, defense strategy, and national psyche changed forever. The slogan Hindi Chini Bhai Bhai faded into silence. For nearly 2 decades, the two countries barely spoke. Time, however, began to heal. In 1976, diplomatic ties were restored after 14 years. In 1979, Foreign Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee visited Beijing, a symbolic first step. Then came 1988, a breakthrough year. Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi visited China, marking a historic thaw. Both sides agreed to move past the war to maintain peace and tranquility along the borders and rebuild trust. It was cautious, but it was progress. The 1990s brought a new chapter dialogue and development. In 1993 and 1996, both nations signed agreements to maintain peace along the line of actual control. Economic ties began to flourish, trade became the new foundation of diplomacy. By 2005, they even signed an agreement on political parameters for border settlement. Cultural exchanges grew, students, tourists, and business began to connect. But while trade moved fast, trust lagged behind. The border remained unsettled, and a quiet reminder that history wasn't fully forgotten. The 2000s saw the economic story take center stage. Electronics, machinery, and chemicals flowed in from China. India exported minerals, software, and pharmaceuticals. Trade volumes skyrocketed, but so did the trade deficit, heavily titled in China's favor. Money was building bridges, where politics still built walls. Just when things seemed stable, the border growth returned. Frequent incursions and stand-ups reignited tensions. In 2017, the Doklam stand-up near the Bhutan border lasted 73 tense days. Then came Galwan Valley, 2020, a deadly clash that took the lives of 20 Indian soldiers. It was the first time in 45 years that bullets were replaced by blood. Trust plummeted, trade slowed, political war turned cold again. The line of control, both physical and emotional, hardened once more. Today, the relationship stand at a crossroad, a mix of cooperation and competition. Trade continues, both nations engage in forums like BRICS and SCO, but political trust is fragile. The Quad Alliance adds new strategic layers. It's a relationship necessity where economics binds, but geopolitics divide. Several obstacles continue to shadow the uneasy friendship. Unresolved border dispute across LAC, a widening trade imbalance, China's close tie with Pakistan, especially through the CPEC project, rivalry in the Indo-Pacific region, and above all, a perception gap each side doubts the other's intention. It's like two chess players sharing the same board, both cautious, neither willing to blink first. Economically, India relies heavily on China, and that's both a strength and a weakness. Nearly 65% of India's electronics and pharma inputs come from China. Over 80% of solar equipment is imported. 45% of pharma raw materials dependent on Chinese supply. After the Galwan class, India began a shift, restricting Chinese investment, banning certain arts, and pushing for Atmanirbhar Bharat or self-reliance. It's a slow but determined effort to reduce dependency, to build an economy that stands on its own feet while competing globally. Despite all tensions, this relationship still matters to both nations and the world. When India and China cooperate, Asia stabilizes. Their combined economy can shape global growth. Their collaboration is key to fighting climate change and ensuring regional peace. But when they clash, the ripple effects are felt across the world. As two civilization powers, their choice will define the balance of 21st century. From brotherhood to rivalry, from hope to hesitation, the India-China story is a mirror of how geopolitics really works. A dance between trust and tension. The question is now, can India and China coexist as powerful neighbors, or are they destined to compete forever? The answer lies in dialogue, diplomacy, and balance, not in conflict. If you found this video insightful, please like, share, and subscribe to Fluky Facts, where we simplify global issues and make learning easier for everyone. Check out our earlier videos on India-USA relations, nuclear energy, and climate change. You will find the links in the description below. Keep learning, keep questioning, only on Fluky Facts. Think unlimited.